Hey, what's up, Raider Nation? Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. And, we're getting a later start than usual. It's just been one of those days. But let's begin. All right. So today, the 2026 NFL Scouting Combine starts. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of news, coming out of the combine. Unfortunately, I'm sure most of the Raiders news will be more about the Max Crosby noise, right? I'm sure there's so much media there that's going to be a big talk, of the town and in Indy. So that's just something we're going to have to deal with. Um, Fernando Mendoza, again, I mean, he's not going to throw. He doesn't really need to do anything. So hopefully we get some good, interviews by the media, from Mendoza. But we'll just see. We'll just follow the coverage and see what kind of news comes out of the scouting combine. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Max news, and I know Raider Nation is tired of it. Um, the Raiders hire local Vegas run game coordinator Mario Jeberaeel. I hope I'm saying his name right, but I think that's right. He graduated from the University of Nevada and played on the O line for UNLV from 2004 and 2008. He has 6 years of coaching experience in the NFL. Last 2 years with the Jags as a defensive assistant. So he kind of flips over to the offensive side. And, what he did with the Jags, I mean, that was a really strong defense. So for him to be a part of that, I think that speaks volume. These coordinators, I mean, they're pretty versatile, right? So I don't think there's going to be an issue from him switching from the defensive side over to the offensive side because really he's one of the coach assistants. So nice that we hired a local UNLV guy. Um, Draft experts, they're saying there's zero chance of the Raiders are going to be trading their number one pick, and I agree. I mean, think about the last couple seasons or the last few seasons where we've been trying to draft our quarterback, trying to trade to number two, even number two, and maybe try to trade to number one, and we got no takers, right? So there's a trend. Teams when they have that number one pick, especially if there's a need for quarterback, they're not trading that pick. Um, to no surprise, as we were just talking about, Mendoza will not throw in the combine, but he will throw for his pro day, his Indiana pro day on April 1st, to help his guys, which shows you the type of team player Mendoza is, right? And a nice thing too, we're gonna have a ton of scouts there, watching Mendoza. I mean, there's gonna be a ton of scouts there watching Mendoza, but there's also gonna be scouts, watching those receivers, those Indiana receivers. So maybe we could pick someone up from Mendoza. Maybe not this year, but next draft. And besides that NFL news, I know this isn't Raider news, but I'm pretty stoked on Team USA hockey, men's and women's, taking gold, beating Canada. Um, you know, Team USA hockey doesn't get gold much. I think this is only like the fourth time, so that was huge. So hope maybe you were up at 5 a.m. watching that game. I definitely was, and happy that we were able to do that. Um, other news, maybe fight news. If we have, any listeners interested in fight news, I'm sure you've seen that Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey are finally fighting. It's not going to be in the UFC. It's going to be on Netflix. So looking forward to that. I don't know what kind of fight we're going to get out of it. But if Ronda still has her A game judo, I don't see Carano doing much there. But I mean, there's been plenty of fighters that were able to land some blows on Ronda Rousey, like Holly Holmes, right? So Gina has a chance, but it's just kind of hard because both of them been inactive for so long. But apparently, Gina Carano has been training. This is whatever, but it'll definitely be huge in Vegas. Pacquiao Mayweather. It looks like they're set to fight in September at the Spear. So I mean, the event will be big, right? What kind of fight are we gonna get out of it? Probably an exhibition. But I mean, I'll probably be tuning in. And I think the rest of the world will be too because that's another Netflix event. Which they're doing a lot of it now. I mean, they're really trying to throw themselves in the fight mix. Um, Strickland, if anyone watched that fight, he won via TKO. And I know his opponent's a beast. Um, but I did notice that Strickland was a heavy underdog. I forgot what the numbers were, but he's a heavy underdog. And I remember talking to my brother saying, there's no way, Strickland's that much of an underdog, and he pulls off the TKO. And I wish that I would have laid down some bets for that. But, I didn't. So there's nothing I could do about it. Ryan Garcia, also wins by anonymous decision over Mario Barros. It was very one sided. Um, and I thought it was going to end a lot sooner. I didn't even think it was going to go to 12 after Ryan Garcia got that early knockdown. But it's exciting that there's some good fights going on. Again, I don't know if all of Raider Nation is interested in UFC and boxing, but I am, and it's very Vegas, right? So I think especially in the off season, I'd like to cover a little bit of it, right? So what are your thoughts, Raider Nation? Are you excited for the scouting combine? I know there's definitely going to be some interviews, with coaches and players, and I don't really want to hear too much of the Max stuff, but that's going to happen. But let me know your thoughts. Please, leave your comments, even about the other stuff that we talked about that have nothing to do with football, but they have a lot to do with Vegas, right? Um, so let me know your thoughts. Leave your comments. If you did enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, share, and I appreciate your time, Raider Nation. Have a good one. See you Tuesday.